You just missed the best conversation.
We were talking about nothing, actually. We can't say anything anymore. You have topics. Look at the topics. It's actually fun.
Well, I want to talk about I like the topic we just had. Game ideas. That's the topic for a game podcast is game ideas.
Are we supposed to do that at the end?
Not all.
No,
I guess.
not always. Screw
Just
it.
the pitch thing, but I mean just like game
Oh,
idea,
okay.
like what makes a game idea good, but it's almost
Well, should
like
we just reiterate on our points? Like, I tend to make games focused more around characters and then putting those characters in certain scenarios, whereas
I make games usually start with an interesting mechanic and then kind of build off that with a scenario. Like he starts off with a scenario, then adds the mechanics. I kind of start with the mechanic, then add the scenario.
yeah,
But they're equally important to both of us, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, like.
That's just how you think.
Yeah, it's just how we think. Like, I think of the characters first. I feel like if I really attach to these characters, then I can kind of build, like, I build outwards from the characters.
Yeah.
Like, the characters are going to be in this world, which is probably going to incorporate these type of mechanics because that makes sense for this character.
Yeah.
Then you make it so, like, I'm going to build this mechanics and everything stems out from that. So, like, the mechanics are probably going to probably fit this type of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's no real, like, right way, I don't think. It's just, like, it's how you function.
Yeah, I guess it's just how you, like, break down a problem.
But we both do super simple stuff. That's the common. We both do things that are, like,
Oh, yeah, like...
very simple and...
Very simple, but I have the problem of it's the simplest idea. I just have incredibly high standards for artwork. So I'm like, this isn't good enough. Then I spend the next week making a pixel art chair, and I have like various iterations of different colors, different shades of the same color, and I want to die at the end. But I just give up because I'm tired of pixel art.
Man,
It's terrible.
what's your opinion on pixel art? I know you do it. What's your opinion on it?
You can have good pixel art, you can have bad pixel art. I feel like mine is somewhere in the middle. Like, I feel like everything looks like really shitty pixel art, but it's animated kind of good.
Your stuff?
Yeah, like, I feel
I-
like it's bad to look at, but it fits the world, and everything is animated alright.
I think Squirrel Game more relies on its animations, but your stuff with DTC, I love the look of that,
I like that.
all the art and stuff.
I like that
in
little guy, yeah. Cause
Even just like the I don't want to say anything about it, but like just the location and stuff you showed me was interesting.
Well, the one thing I liked about DTC more than the Squirrel Game was because DTC had like kind of an outline around everything.
Oh, okay.
Literally just an outline, I think, made the difference, and Squirrel Game doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But
I think Squirrel Game is, I told you that before, the animations are really cool. They make the characters feel more alive.
yeah,
But, so that's why you don't need to worry about anything, because they're always moving. You have an idle animation, you have, stuff like that.
they need to be better. I hate the idle animation. Oh my, I'm not. Oh, they need to be better. I do not like the idle animation,
Good.
which makes me want to die when I think about that. 'Cause
I-
I worked on that for too long.
I brought the pixel art thing up because I'm, interested in... it's a common thing nowadays of people being turned off by games
Oh, with
that are
pixel art? Yeah. Well, like, I was kind of saying, like, you can have games that have really, really, like, good pixel art, and then you can have games with really, really bad pixel art. The only reason why pixel art, like, is used so commonly is just because, like, it's the most, like, easy, accessible thing to do. Like, you just put squares on a screen, and that's it, and you have, like, your character. It's like a box or whatever. But, like, it's really simple to do, it's quick, but, like, getting to, like, really good pixel art is really hard, and
Yeah.
I would say it's just as hard, if not harder, than just, like, drawing things, in a sense, because, like, I don't know, you have good and bad stuff.
Well, you do both, so I don't disagree, because I don't do any of them, so I feel like you're right on that, if you do both.
Get the microphone away from your face. You're not a radio talk show man. I don't know. Like, honestly, that's really it. That's really all I can say, and I feel like it's crap for only, like, saying one thing, but, like, you have good pixel art, and you have bad pixel art. Like, it all takes time.
Yeah.
Time that I don't want to put in anymore, but I will get back to it because I'm in love with the ideas. of like these games. I just don't want to work on it anymore because I'm done with pixel art for right now.
Just make voxel art and make it 2D.
I don't really like voxel art. I know you do, but I don't. It's 3D pixels. I'm like, it's not really exciting to me.
No.
I feel like I feel like people kind of compare it to 3D pixel. Like it's basically 3D pixel art, but I feel like pixel art loses its charm if it's brought into the third dimension. I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean, same with pixel art, voxel. If you compare it to pixel art, then it's not good voxel art. Good voxel art is when it's not compared to pixel art. Like, you can have really good voxel stuff in it because it adds depth when you don't imagine it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like people do compare it to this 3D pixel art, but it's like then it's not good voxel.
Oh, because it's being compared to pixel art.
That's not the way good voxel art looks. Good voxel art is totally different than how good pixel art looks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's just, I mean, yeah, people have different, like, I love that style because it's only when it's done well, though. A lot of mobile games use voxels now.
See, that goes back to what I'm saying, only when it's done well.
Yeah.
Like, people like things only when it's done well. Except, like, you can kind of have a game that's, like, completely crapped quality, but it's still, like, really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Which are, like, should we talk about that? Games that we think are shit, but are, like, secretly fun? Wait, hold on, I think I said that wrong. I don't remember. You know what, never mind. Let's just keep on this topic. This is a chill topic. I like this.
I was just wondering, because I saw this post on Reddit about this guy. This is a different post. I told you about something else, but this is another one that happened yesterday. It wasn't that popular, but some guy said he released the game like 2 days ago, or no, a week ago.
Yeah.
It was like a zombie pixel art multiplayer shooter, and he spent 3 years on it, and he hadn't. That was like the only thing he did. He just worked on this game.
Is it just him?
Yeah.
It's probably the art. Art takes you forever. Or I mean, once it's done, it's done.
Well, it wasn't the years. He just said, if you want to do indie dev, don't do it or get a part-time job.
Oh, wait.
It's different than
you are this was the topic.
It's different. It's
what? No.
I'm gonna go back to that one.
Oh, no, I thought this was the topic I was super interested in. Okay.
It is the same kind of thing.
Okay. Cool.
And he just said, like...
I'm glad you segued this.
He more just kind of said, like, get a part-time job. I don't think he said don't do it, but it does tie in with the other one I'll bring up, too. Mm-hmm. But everybody in the comments was like, I'm so sorry, because he got no sales. He released the game after 3 years, and no one bought it. And he goes...
And that happens.
He's like, it's almost like it's not... It's like, I needed a publisher to help market, because it's like, what's the point? And there's kind of two topics that branch from this. One was, like, do you think it's worth it to work on a game if it really won't get played by anybody?
Can I answer this now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it is. Like, I'm doing this mainly because I have ideas that need to get out of my mind, and I can't really tell them or express them in words to people. So I'm like, this is my idea. It's out there now. It's just, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. If people play and like it, that's cool. If they don't, well, that's kind of crap. I mean, I put time and effort into things that I thought people would play, but if they don't, it's like, oh well, it happened. Yeah. I mean, I'm saying this without really releasing anything, so I could be more upset than I'm making myself out to be. But, like, I'm just trying to get my ideas out, which is why I think overall, even if no one plays it, it'd still be worth it for me. Mm. What about you?
I think it's worth it. And I think it's mainly because it's not the only thing I do. Right now, I mean, even though it's like the only thing I think about is my game, it's a side project still. Like, I have school I'm doing. I have a job that I have. And I'm always gonna have a job. I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan to completely. I know you might do this, but I do want to work for a company outside of school, just so I have a job. Yeah. Then I can work on my small thing there, and hopefully that one of them takes off in the slightest.
Yeah, something catches on. No, that's kind of how I am. Like, this is honestly why I need to get something out there, because I feel like I'm grossly underprepared for things. Like, I'm gonna go work at the company. I have a good idea. I need to start actually looking what the apply rate is, see if I can get internships, stuff like that. Get all that stuff going for me. oh, yeah, I want to see if I work at the company. If I like working in that, then stay there, do that. But also at the same time, kind of go home, work on like smaller things in some sense.
Yeah.
And like if things take off in the company and I like staying there, then just stay there. I'm gonna have a job. It's cool. But if like this other smaller indie game project thing takes off, it's like, huh, cool. Maybe I don't really like the company thing. Maybe I'll go see if I can do this, something like. I kind of feel like that's the path, kind of have to take in a sense.
No, yeah, I agree.
Or if like, I guess like you just want to be straight up indie and don't want to do anything, just like you kind of have to have a part-time job because you can't really support yourself unless you're like one of the rare lucky ones.
Unless you're married and your wife or your husband is
rich. You have like partners and stuff like that. Well, I was gonna bring up the lucky ones that like their game just gets noticed. Like
that too.
It just happens. Their game gets noticed. Publishers get them. They give them money, and like you're set. You've made a game pretty much. You've released it. You get money from it. Then you give that money into making your next game.
Well, here's the big topic that comes off of this is this guy kind of used the word luck, I think, in this post and whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And I do agree that it is. It is luck.
100% luck. There's like not 100%.
I'm saying it's not.
I'm gonna say 80-20. 80 luck, 20 like skill.
I don't think I disagree. And I think I don't think it's luck because all my comments are like, I'm so sorry, this happens to a lot of devs. It's happened to me. This one guy, I like his post. I'm like,
shoot.
He goes, insult incoming. He's like, believe me, I have a game too, and I'm working on it, and I hope it takes off, just like you. It hasn't been released yet, but I hope people play it. He goes, insults incoming. He's like, but your game doesn't look that great.
Oh.
Well, he just went. He's like, the pixel art.
Austin, when you go to edit this podcast, and you're probably not going to do this, please put an air horn right there and just go.
No.
I keep saying this. We're never going to do it. Maybe one of you guys will. Don't do that. Okay. Yes.
But like he said, he's like, the pixel art. It's been done a lot, which is already a bad thing about your game. It's hard to take off when you have pixel art. It doesn't stand out. It's already and he's like, but the pixel art isn't that great. He goes, the art is done by just someone that just started with. You could tell it's not the best. It's not anything special.
Can you pull up this game?
I'll show you after.
Okay. Like, I just want to see or something.
I mean, it's like I even agree with him. It was just the way what he said.
Yeah.
He knows more about pixel art than me. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I could tell in good pixel art, but like, not fully, not 100%. But then he goes, also, it is pixel art, and that's nowadays, past 2 years, it's been highly regarded as just
the style
every indie developer uses.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Other thing that doesn't make you stand out. He's like, next, he goes, you're doing a multiplayer indie game. He's like, those hardly ever take off because they never have a ground to sit on. These multiplayer indie games.
I never thought about it like that. Yeah, that's true.
And he also said it's an 8-bit shooter, which there's been like 6 of those in the past 2 years that have been really popular. Why would making another one that looks the same take off in itself? And the guy said, I appreciate the honesty. Like, I appreciate you just being hard because sometimes you need to be hard.
Yeah.
And it's the main guy made in his main post, his original post said, there's a line you have to cross with yourself. If you want to make a game that's successful, you have to make a game that you don't want to make. I don't think that's. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so he basically said, just to make sure I'm understanding you right, if you want to make a game that's successful, you have to make a game that you don't want to make, in a sense.
A game that's applied, that is liked by everybody.
I don't agree with that. I simultaneously agree with that, but don't at the same time. And this is just me like showing how naive I am to all this, because I feel like just the things that I make, I feel like people would want to play them, even though like I haven't proved this in the slight. Well, I kind of have with like Squirrel Game. People were like, "Hey, this is really cool" or whatever. I get positive feedback from people.
Unless they're just completely lying to you.
Yeah, unless they're completely lying to. Well, I think it was good because my sister was pulling people. Like, you have all the game dev people and we're showing them that, but my sister pulled people because we did like a little convention thing which we got to show off a game. My sister was there and she brought some of her friends who like played or didn't really play games and everything. Then they sat down and played my game and they all kind of liked it. I'm not sure if they were like kind of feigning it or not because, as I said, they didn't really play games. But like some seemed to, some didn't. I don't know. But like getting back to the main question, yeah, if you want to be successful in a way, you kind of do have to, like, make a game that you know is going to appeal to people.
No.
Like, if you truly want to get off the ground, you're going to kind of have to do stuff that you don't want to do. It's like...
But...
I feel that, like, going back to what we kind of talked about last podcast with, like, the floppy games, where it's just, like, silly spastic stuff, maybe, like, short, chewy games or whatever that you get through in, like, you're done 15 minutes or something, and you're kind of emulating someone's style, you know they're popular. It may not be necessarily what you want to make now, but you do it just to kind of gain audience, because you've now gained an audience from, like, making these games or whatever. You can kind of do the stuff that you want to do and take gradual steps.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the approach that you want to take if you're doing something. Like you can completely disregard this, but, like, if you want to be completely smart, follow the trends, be like this whore yourself out, be this, like, guy who just, like, plays it completely safe, isn't doing anything. And, like, I'm saying that, but, like, at the same time, you're doing trends, so if you do something that's, like, kind of worse than something that's better, like, okay, that makes complete sense, but that's a really shitty way to phrase the sentence. If you make something that's slightly worse than something, everyone's just going to flock to the thing. Why are they going to play your game? So, like, you have to be really good. I feel like I'm just saying random crap.
I think
I'm losing my train of thought.
I just think you need to be unique with... And, like, when I read that part of his post, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit, because it's like, so you're telling me the only game you ever want to make is an 8-bit multiplayer shooter. It's like, he said, I have to make a game. If I want to be successful, I have to make a game I don't want to make. Like, you really hate that many game ideas? Like, I have so many different genres of games I want to make. That's, like, the one you want to make. You don't want to make anything else. Like, I don't know. I disagree with a lot of that stuff. What do you... Like, the luck thing. You said 100% luck. Why do you say that,
I changed it up. Because... Okay, I said now it's 80% luck, 20% skill. Actually, no, those numbers are shit. Okay, how about no percentages? Screw that. Let's just say there's a combination of luck and skill that can have whatever. Like, I honestly do feel that if you're talented and skilled enough, people will notice you just from, like, whatever reason. It just happens.
Yeah.
Like, but it's also, you have to be in, like, the right place at the right time to kind of, like, get noticed.
Yeah.
And, like, if you have different skill, of course, the right place and the right time is going to fluctuate. They're connected. I
just don't think... I agree with the luck. When you think about an outside perspective, you see these games like... I think we said the floppy games, like Goat Simulator. That somehow takes off. And it's like, oh, it's just luck. Like,
well, I feel like that's kind of a product of the times, though, because, like, no one really seen, like, floppy games.
Yeah, but, like, you see games, though, that you're like, that's luck. Like, it's not the best game in the world, but it somehow took off.
I don't know. Like, okay, this is kind of recent, but do you know of the game Downwell?
I think so.
Like, you play as a guy with, like, rocket boots. This kind of goes back, because it's pixel art. It's literally black, white, and red. That's its color scheme. It looks alright, but it has a unique concept, and I guess, this, like, going back to what you said, it had a unique concept of the rocket boots, and that's what people really liked about it.
So it got popular, though.
Yeah, it got popular.
It's unique, yeah.
And, like, but I still kind of feel like it had to be luck, too. Like, I don't know, I haven't played the game, and I'm completely being, once again, naive about this, but, like, I still feel like, what happens if it didn't get noticed as, like someone didn't, like, post this one thing about it and never, like, exploded off. Like, I still kind of feel like if that never happened, we still would have had this cool game, but it wouldn't have gotten noticed. I feel like it was more luck than anything for that game. Yeah. Even if it was a super solid game, which I've heard multiple times, it looks like solid, looks fun to play, but I still feel like it's luck. I still feel like luck kind of trumps.
Really?
Yeah.
I disagree. I mean...
Then again, this comes down to my whole, like, philosophy of I'm a man of luck and chance, so...
Yeah. I guess I think if someone makes a really solid game, it's gonna be played. There's not often where I see really, like, truly solid games that aren't played. Like, you'll see games that are played a ton, but I don't see super amazing games that aren't played.
I have to question because you don't see super solid games.
I know.
Which means
yeah,
that there's games
obviously
out
there
there
are games out
because
there.
you don't see them that are super solid.
But I really do try to search for games that aren't popular to see why they aren't popular.
Yeah, you dig.
I dig.
Yeah.
And usually the ones there's big flaws, and it doesn't have to be like the art style's great, but their mechanic is
Slapping fish.
or it's just Call of Duty, like it's a shooter.
Yeah, and that goes back to like what we were saying. I think we're kind of both coming back to the idea that uniqueness. Like I like that you said that because I never really like thought about it. But having a unique idea can definitely like help sell, right? Or it can help like get your game out there.
It's unique anything, a unique character, a unique art style, a unique mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
You just need one unique thing, and you might not be the most, wealthy person after that game, but like I think it'll really kick you off. It'll make the game be played if it's somehow unique in some way.
Yeah, but like we also have to kind of think it's like how you execute that unique idea.
Yeah.
Because you can have a super unique idea and it can be like shoddily done, but then someone can take the same idea.
Oh yeah.
And just do it a hell of a lot better. Then you're like, oh, okay.
And it needs to be marketed.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't. I think publishers are good, but like you could do it without a publisher. You have to just be. You gotta have drive. You just gotta like push it out there.
You just have to.
Relentless.
Oh gee, I need that so bad. I should just get you to do my stuff.
No. I'll help.
Yeah, you'll just yell at me. I'll do it eventually. No, I was literally like, because with Downwell, what the guy did was. He was basically at school. He was thinking like, I'm just gonna put stuff out there, and he like tweets stuff out, and then just call on like,
yeah,
yeah, like do that.
Like I see.
You have to have a vast net, and you have to cast it, and you have to go everywhere.
Twitter is a big part, and I didn't really realize it was because you see these indie developers that have like they post a GIF, and it like gets a ton of likes, but their Twitter account still has like not many followers. But now your game is people have seen it.
Yeah, like
they when they see the trailer in the future, they'll be like, oh.
And it spreads.
And it's like, I'm gonna buy it. I remember I saw that, and like then you can post that GIF on Reddit, and you can post it on Facebook, and like people that don't play games can see it, and it's like, oh my god, like that's pretty awesome. And that's what I started posting GIFs of my game early on, and I would get likes actually and retweets, but it didn't look good. It was like you've seen it. I mean, you see it now. It's still not looking amazing, but
yeah.
Now with the particle effects in, once they start adding in models, like
have you tweeted any of that stuff out recently?
No, I'm
particle effects.
I'm gonna
you shooting one of the things and having the particle effects.
Once I get
and have the caption be wow dazzle, and it's like
once I get more stuff with lighting, like it'll be soon. I'll put a GIF out, and it's like if something looks pretty, people like that shit.
People flock to it.
Like it's like that looks pretty cool. I think
we're an aesthetically pleasing based human.
Yeah, and I don't know. It is luck. It's also uniqueness. It's also skill. It's a combination of both, and it depends on what the game is.
Oh, geez, it's everything, and it's impossible. Like we're debating this, but ultimately, I feel like it's impossible to tell like what combinations are which. Like it has to be the right time, luck, skill, everything. Like, you just have to give it your all and just hope. I feel.
Yeah,
and like
it depends on the genre too.
I feel like that's not comforting in the slightest. Like
it depends on the genre though, too. Honestly,
it's everything. Like everything you do. Like you can try and like honestly, you can have like you can look at market trends. You can calculate everything out. You can have the most unique idea, and it can just not sell at all. Like that happens for whatever reason. It happens. It just will.
I think it's more.
It's nothing. It's like it's unstable.
It's more bad luck than good luck. I don't think succeeding with the game is good luck. I think that's skill and unique ideas. I think not succeeding.
You think it's more?
It's more bad luck.
That's more no luck than anything.
It's like none.
You have the negative
pretty
luck.
much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. Well, with that though, like going back to the one thing I told you about a couple days ago, which is another post on Reddit or Imgur. A guy worked on a game for 5 years.
What's Imgur?
Imgur? I say Imgur. Is it Imgur?
I don't care. I'm just bringing it up because I'm an asshole.
GIF?
I'm just bringing it up because I'm an asshole. Okay, no, go for it.
He made a post about he worked on a game for 5 years, whatever, and then so the basis of it, without delving too much into his words, worked on a game for 5 years, didn't really do anything else for money. Maybe like did odd jobs or stuff, but just did that. He It's a isometric mech shooter. Plays a mech and you shoot things. And the game came out like 2 weeks ago and it didn't succeed. It didn't nothing. Like
Yeah.
I think it was early access and he had people that were playing it. It was very minimal. When it finally released, no one more played it. It was just there. And there was a spike in his sales for early access like 2 years or a year ago. I think it's early access. Or maybe it was just a spike in popularity.
Yeah. Something's call on.
He made a post, someone on his Steam forum discussion said, like, this game shouldn't cost $20. And it blew up on Reddit. And he goes, so a game I've been working on for 5 years shouldn't cost $20. When you pay $10 just for a movie, you can't pay $20 for a game. And it blew up because people were, like, agreeing with the guy, maybe someone disagreeing and stuff like that. Like, they should be a little less. They should be the same. They should be more. Stuff like that. Like, you're working on a game every day, making no money, and the most you do is, like, come on, just pay me $20.
Yeah.
That's where his game kind of blew up. That's where his name kind of spiked. Yeah,
because of this kind of controversy.
Yeah. And then
that's another thing. You want publicity, just cause controversy.
But when it's
bad
true.
publicity is good publicity.
Well, this is true.
Be the next Phil Fish. Do it.
Or that hatred game. Have you seen that? The guy.
Oh, that was that was funny. Honestly, yeah.
So he made this post, and then people were like, and the last thing he said was, only advice I give you is if you want to do indie dev, don't do it. And then you had a opinion on that. What do you think?
I agree. Don't
Why?
do it.
Why?
It makes my job easier. Don't have to compete with you.
Is that the only reason?
No, there's more. I'll have to think about it though.
Like,
I mean,
when you said it, and we stopped talking because we wanted to save it for the podcast.
Yeah, I guess I didn't put any thought because I completely forgot about the idea. Like, I kind of do feel that some people who want to be indie devs aren't cut out for it.
That's true.
And I'm including myself in this because I don't think I've, like, made it in any way. Like, I'm just trying, and, like, the only way is to try, and that's what everyone should do. You should test and see, but some people aren't definitely cut out for it.
He said not to try at all, though. Like, he said
Like,
don't do it.
Like, definitely try. Like, honestly, put your heart out there, make a couple of things, and, like, go for it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If you find, like, oh, this isn't really fun, then don't do it. At least try. But yeah, I feel like there is, like, maybe because it's just kind of blown up in culture nowadays, because gaming is such a huge thing, like, indie games are exploding, game industries here and there. People kind of get this idea of what being a game developer is. I feel like they're misinformed about this idea.
Yeah.
So they're coming in with this whole other concept that just is completely different.
I get the warning. I think you should warn people.
Oh, yeah, I do get the warning, and that's with every, like, just as being, like, an artist or someone being creative, like...
It's risky.
Yeah. Like, prepare to live in the box.
But here's the thing that I didn't like about it, was... He's, like, probably a good guy. It sounded kind of woe is me, though, in parts of it. But, yeah. I mean, that's just...
I mean, like, granted, given the situation, like, 5 years...
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he deserves to be like that.
I do, like... I don't know, like, kind of going back to price, honestly, I don't think I could ever put, like, a price on my, like, game work. Because, like, I'm so attached to it. I would need, like... I would go to, like, 100 people or something. Maybe not even 100. I don't know. But just, like, see what... Like, ask them, how much would you pay for this? Then maybe take, like, the median and just go from there. Yeah. And slowly, like, tweak it. Because, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a topic.
Like, I would want enough to be, like... I could actually make a living off of.
Yeah.
But... Then you also have to charge people fairly. I
don't know. One thing, like, it was interesting, and it actually blew up. Not it blew up, but like I saw that Imgur post, or Imgur or whatever, go on like Twitter, like people that weren't even like in game dev kind of stuff, tweeting it out.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like speaking of Twitter tweeting, have we like tweeted out podcast stuff? I feel like we should do that.
I'll tweet it out on my Twitter.
I feel like I need to do that too.
I'll do that.
Give me a link to the SoundCloud. I'll tweet that shit out and say hashtag indie games talk about nothing.
I'll do it.
Okay, well I'll do that too. Yeah. Okay, go on.
But it was like from just looking at it from afar, you could say like, oh yeah, don't do indie dev. Like 5 years, wasted time, no money. Like that guy probably he lost or gained weight because that's all he could do is like just order pizza and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like from afar, it's like, oh man. But then you look deeper, like the other post I talked about, and a couple of things. One thing, he's mentioned kind of quickly, not quickly, but people kind of look past it. He built it from no engine. He built his own engine.
Okay. Yeah.
He had a couple people working on it with him. It was like 2 other people he was working with. They were building it from the ground up, an engine up. It's like, first of all, people say indie dev like 5 years is a lot of time. Yeah, he built his own engine. If you don't build your own engine, it's gonna take a lot less time.
Yeah, that's damn impressive.
That's a lot of time.
Not
spent on building an engine.
Wait, how long ago was this?
This post?
No, I mean, like, how long did it take him to make the game again?
5 years.
5 years. So we're looking back 2011, 2010. Unity and stuff wasn't really around. Okay, that's understandable. I was just about to say, like, well, at least
it was.
Okay, it was like.
Sure. Pretty sure.
I kind of. This is gonna sound like a dick thing, but like maybe it kind of was on him. Because like, independent developers are kind of making their money off of other people's like game engines. And like, so like because all that time was kind of wasted making the game engine, and I hate to say wasted because I really respect people that make their own game engines.
Same.
That's impressive. I can't do that, but like.
You say wasted because you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, in a sense, you kind of didn't have to. In which I honestly am kind of elitist, where I want people to make their own like game engine, but I myself don't do that because I don't have like the technical know-how, and I kind of know that like if I try to do that, I'm just going to be kind of wasting all this other time that I could be putting like the artwork or the programming and stuff like that. Like, I guess it'd be smart with how you time things and plan, but.
Well, that was one thing. Was like. Making your own engine, yeah, okay, so don't do indie dev, but based on him, it's like he made his own engine. You should have mentioned that. Like, if you don't plan on building your own engine, then you could do indie dev because it doesn't take that long usually. Because you could build a big game, but 5 years is a long time. But it is a long time because he built his own engine. It's a huge chunk. And a lot of problems it could cause. I mean, that's just double the bugs, triple the bugs, just because it's
a lot of things.
Nothing. Like you started from nothing. But then, also, just the game idea in general, it goes back to the uniqueness and stuff. Isometric, which is often...
This is the mech shooter?
Yeah.
I want to say, like, maybe it was... Oh, this is, like, future-proofing, because maybe it was unique then, but as time went on...
That's also true, too, yeah.
It, like, things kind of happened in that genre and such.
I guess that's why I'm making games I know I can finish in a year.
Oh, Jesus, I wish I had that foresight.
Well, you can. You stop them because you don't want to do the art for it. But that's understandable.
Because hey, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
I learned that I should take breaks that last longer than a day. Because I literally stop for a day and just go on to a different game and I just completely forget.
So yeah, I guess if it's in that, it's just like...
Don't do that, kids.
That's also no luck that I guess the mech shooter was popular in the time, or it was about to be popular, or he knew it was going to be popular. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like isometric shooters, that's a snare audience. Not many people love that.
Yeah.
But it's narrowing it down a lot. And mech, I know a lot of people that hate mechs, like just hate mechs.
Really?
Yeah, like YouTube people I watch, when they see a mech in something, they're like, oh, it's just the easy way out or something like that. I don't care.
YouTubers are full of shit and should go die. JK, LOL, no, go kill yourself.
Like,
Sorry about that.
I don't have an opinion on it. Mechs are fine. Like, I don't care about them that much.
We're looking at the audience, and like,
yeah, just like...
You've already limited yourself down because isometric shooters, it's a niche genre.
And it's a shooter. It's a shooter. It's an isometric shooter.
Yeah.
With like you hear about these other games. Like I don't know if you've heard of the game Monaco. It's a heist game. It's top down.
Yeah.
And like there's another top down shooter game. They did really well because it's a heist game. Like that's not really done that much with top down stuff.
Because it's a weird premise.
Like it's a weird premise, and it was like a cool art style too.
Yeah.
And like other stuff, it's like Hyperlight Drifter. I think that was like something that like you played. Like why is that unique? Why is that game unique? Didn't it have a following before that?
Yeah, it had the Kickstarter, and Oh, geez, I saw that. I think I fell in love with it mainly for the art style, which is, I guess, kind of a bad thing to do. Like,
But it was good. It was well made.
Yeah, well, it was well made. Like, I like
the art style was well made. I mean,
yeah, like it had this really cool art style. Like, I think I like the world building because I'm a sucker for, like, you have a tiny guy you play, then you have this giant monster thing in the background. I love that. Plus, it also sort of like it had gameplay trailers, so you knew what you were getting. So like, it kind of sold me on the package. Like, oh, that's how this game is gonna play. You can like whoop around. You can slice things with your sword. You got this little guy who goes in the slots and open doors and stuff. It was a cool idea, and I like believed in it.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta be. Even if your game isn't flashy, you kind of have to be flashy with it.
Hey, I don't know if I agree with that. Or wait, say.
Flashy just with like marketing wise, like
just
flashy
like,
as in make it look good. Like, ooh, I want to play that. No matter how you want.
I feel like if you do that, you could like kind of like missell the product.
Not sell your game differently. I don't mean like make a trailer for your game and just totally
like
screw up what the game.
This game is about reading books, but there's like guns in it.
Yeah, it's a shooter. No, I mean just you gotta make a good trailer. You gotta make good posts. I haven't done it. I should because I'm talking bad about. I'm not talking bad about this guy.
You should be honest about what you're making.
But I kind of want to look up the Twitter account and stuff of this guy that made this game, this Reddit post, and see the posts he made and stuff like that.
Oh, and like see how hard he like tried to push it in some sense.
Or, or just
like if he talked about it at all.
If it looks like you want to play it, like.
Okay.
A good kind of game is like. I'm not in the isometric. I'm one of those people that I don't love isometric stuff for some reason. I'm just not a fan of them.
Yeah, it just doesn't resonate with you.
But a really good game, I've played isometric games that I've loved because they're sold so well. Like when I saw his game, I was like, okay, it's a mech shooter.
Because it kind of like hyped you up for it. Like,
Hyper Light Drifter, I was like, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I want to say like, because I found out about it. And like I'm like, well, what's this trailer? Then like you see comments, you see other people like talking about it, and that kind of builds you up too.
Yeah.
And I think that adds to it, and so there's some community for it. And do you know if this guy like had any community for it at all?
Yeah, various like a couple people, like not a couple, like a handful of people that were following it and liked the game because they like mechs and they like isometric stuff and.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of game. You gotta make when you already have a following. It's the sad truth of it. You have to make a game going back to what we said before. You have to make a game that
you don't necessarily want to make,
or not that. Just make a game that's more of a wide audience.
You start off with like your broader ideas that can appeal to a lot of people, and then you slowly just like
you can make anything at that point, and people would love it. Like
you kind of like you start off really broad, and you slowly just work your way down to something like really, really focused. But at that time, you have cast your net really far and gotten all these people. So like by that time, you have already had this audience who like really follows you and supports you because you slowly like whittled people down. Like you might lose some people along the way, you might gain people along the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like if Notch made a game right now, I'm just bringing up Notch. He's like the biggest. Like if he who? If he made like some shitty Flash game, it would blow up. People would be like, "Oh my god, look at the game Minecraft creator just created!" It's like all these news websites. Minecraft creator just made a new game. Like,
yeah, that would surely explode. It's a moment of silence right there. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm looking at
some of the topics I wrote down. Just that.
Post.
Okay.
So you're being actual.
I'm being actual.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, you have to get like. You have to just try. Going back to what we started with, you just have to try and see what happens.
You gotta be smart about it.
Yep, yeah, you have to be smart. You have to try.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. People don't realize how hard it is. I feel like I haven't even gotten into the bulk of it at all. I feel like I'm grossly underprepared.
I don't know. It's like it excites me though.
Yeah.
I think I want
Like,
to.
I just want to see what happens.
I want to be in
more
this
than
industry because it's just exciting. Like, what's gonna happen? Like,
anything. Yeah, that's honestly
what's
like
my game gonna turn out to look like? Like,
yeah, like will people like it? No, yes.
I want to like just put it on the App Store and just like I want to have one review and just be like, this game was good. I'd be like,
Right, and it's
that'd be like so fulfilling to me.
oh yeah, like I would just be happy. Like if I make Bubblegum Valentine, like one guy plays it, it's like this is adorable. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. Like we're just making these things, and we expect these things to happen, and we would be super cool if it does. But if it doesn't, it's like, oh well.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
but like I think we're being smart though because I mean in much time a scroll game has taken you and like this new one that you're working on like it's it's a simple concept. It might take a while, but it is a simple game to make.
Yeah.
It might be finished a lot quicker than you think.
I feel like that's kind of my problem too. Like I have simple concepts. I just like I could just run with it, so I just keep running with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just art takes fucking forever.
Yeah. Like once I finish this current game, I already have tons of ideas. Like I'm honestly what I want to do next. Once I finish this one, I'm gonna make like 3 or 4 prototypes for 4 different games, and just play through them. Like just basics prototypes, and just like which one I want to make first. Just kind of like
Just prototype everything out.
see what I did wrong in the first one. If it doesn't succeed, why it didn't. And succeeding for me is like 10 reviews.
Yeah.
Like
That's another thing. Like definitely, like keep it grounded, down to earth, like perspectives. Like I know we were kind of saying about this earlier before we start recording, but like don't go out and make a 10,000-hour RPG. Like make literally a game you can play in 5 minutes.
my only goal for my
Which I like how
mobile
I say
game-
that, but I'm currently not doing that. Or am I? I don't know.
My only game right now, my only hope, one thing I want out of this mobile game I'm making right now is to have the person who plays it to have 5 minutes of fun. Don't need any more. Just at least 5 minutes of actual, like, this is fun.
Actually, now that I think about that, I feel like I'm kind of doing that too. Like, I feel like, I don't know how long it's going to take, but like, I feel like you can beat the boss in a relative quick amount of time if you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Even if they don't beat it and they just, like,
Yeah.
that was fun, but it's too difficult for me. If they delete the app after 5 minutes, I could care less. Like,
I'd care.
I just don't think
Then again, I think I'm making a difficult game.
I want people just to have enjoyment out of it for like 5 minutes. Just
Yeah.
I
brought
play
joy
games
to
to get
something.
enjoyment, so I want people to enjoy my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the most popular thing. Whoever plays it, I want them to enjoy it.
I feel like that could also be the reason why people should get into indie games, or like, I feel like that's probably one of the prominent reasons why you should, just to make other people feel good. Like it's always said, if you're doing something money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you're doing it for indie games for the money, like, don't do that. You're gonna fail horribly. Like, you can follow all the market trends you want, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm doing it too. Just trying to make the other person like feel good, also get ideas out,
Yeah.
stuff.
I just
Money is a side effect.
I think it's cool if we make money. It'd be awesome, but I'm like right now. We're in college. Like I don't know. It's very making a game. As much people like talk about how much it sucks,
Which
and
it
like
does.
I work all day, and like I don't even think it sucks. It's fun. I really enjoy it. Like
It's fun when I'm feeling it. When I'm not, I just
that's true.
Yeah.
But when I'm not feeling it, I do the bad thing. I just don't do it, which I guess that's why I feel so good about it, because I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't do it if I don't feel. Which people force themselves, and I feel like I should force myself. But
I always feel like I have to do more.
like I do a lot of work.
I'm kind of glad because like I literally I got all my errands and stuff done at 12. Then like I'm just gonna sit down and just work, and then I look at the clock next, and it's like 12:30. I'm like, I'm gonna go play Dark Souls now. Bye. I put in my time for the day, and I feel like that's kind of a good way to do it in some sense. Like
Yeah.
you should kind of know when to stop in a sense, because you don't want to keep just going on and on. Because that'll eventually, unless you want to, just keep going. No one to stop, no one to take breaks, because then don't work yourself to death.
Yeah.
So,
But like something about like no one has really played my like how I'm testing my game right now. I just have my first alpha. Like I just had a build made for Android, and I had 3 people download it, and it was my brother, who plays games, but he's like the AAA. He just casual definition of casual. He owns like a PS3. He doesn't have a PS4 yet, but he wanted to build a PC at one point. But like he plays games casually. He plays mobile games. Like he'll just download he loves Crossy Road.
mm-hmm.
And then I had my friend who I met on Minecraft play it, and he plays games a little more than casual.
Yeah.
And then also my friend from here who plays like that, casual, nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't really want any game dev people to play it at all because I don't like their opinions.
Still have game dev people play. Like, even if it's an opinion you don't like, you should still at least let them say it.
For me, I don't like giving. The reason I really don't like to give my opinion on other people's games that are all other game devs. From like a view of like the way they marketed it or like how the art looks. Yeah, but like if they ask me like, what do you think about this game? This game I hate. I don't think they should be jaded by the fact what I think.
Hate
another game dev. I want to see the views of people that actually are going to be playing these games.
The only reason why I think you should like get game dev people to play the game is because they make games too, and they're more on the gamer side of things. And you're still getting like casual people, but you should also have people who like hardcore games and like everybody. You should playtest everyone.
I'm doing everyone.
Okay.
But for now, I think I'm gonna stick with just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, every time I've ever showed a game to anybody, they go, you should do this. It's like,
I'm guilty of that.
I mean, you sprinkle it in though.
I don't know.
You don't really say.
No, I get it. Like I feel like you're playtesting, but very small because your game is like still very early on and small too. So, like I think that's good. Like you're playtesting, but like when you get more of a solid game build, it's like more towards the end. Then you start opening up the people.
Yeah, I'm gonna expand the people that are on my list every single time.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. Like every time you've ever asked me to play a squirrel game, I'll like give you suggestions, but I've never said like add this, do this. It's always like how do you feel about the jump? And I'm like, it could be like a little higher.
I still think I'm gonna change the jump, Austin.
Whatever. Just
I'm not gonna do it.
I don't. Some people I feel like I've seen people play your game and they're like, you should add this.
Oh.
And the other game devs, I don't like.
I showed it to someone and he's like, you should add this. I feel like that would be a really cool thing. I'm like, I never thought of that. I'm gonna test that out.
Yeah, there's
I feel
those
like
things
that, I
too.
feel like that's a good thing to do too.
For you, that's me. I was just playing my game and you're like, you should add a disc that splits into 2. And I was like, okay, I did that. I like the ideas. I just because I respect your opinion. We think similarly on games.
Yeah.
Certain people I don't agree with, but they think are good games.
Because you don't respect them.
Like, my game is a skeet shooting game. You said, make a disc that splits into 2 and you shoot it. And I'm like, that's another cool mechanic I can add in. I already have a bunch of different types of discs.
Yeah.
Someone else would come in and be like, you should make it so the last level is a huge boss. And they shoot discs at you. And I'm like,
that'd be cool.
But it's not for my game. Like, it's not like the thing I'm going for. Like,
yeah. They kind of like, I guess that makes sense because I think I kind of know like the game that you're trying to make. It's just ski shooter, nothing like
it's simple and relaxing.
It's basically just that, yeah.
Short pleasure.
It's not going to be there's bosses,
no.
Unlike mine, which has bosses.
There's bosses. So if I had to make a suggestion, I feel like I think like the suggestions I make would fit in your line of where you think you could go. Like someone I heard, I'm not gonna say who, but someone was playing your squirrel game a couple months ago, and they're like, "What's like the end goal?" And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, just to get to the top or whatever."
Oh yeah.
And the person said, he's like, "Is it like to get to like the golden acorn or something?" And I'm like, "Oh!" I almost like yelled. I'm like, "That's not what he wants." I was like, It's too.
Actually, no. See, that kind of plays into what because I thought about that. And this was very early on because, like, the whole goal of the game is just to get to the top of the tree. But I know that when playing, no one would know what the goal is from the start. And that's like, I think that's cool though. So you're like, I'm just going to do these things, and hopefully that as you make your way through, like, I don't know, like, as you go through the level, you're slowly but surely just climbing up the tree, and you don't know about it, but then when you finally get to the point, it's like, oh, I understand what I've been doing, and I've been doing it this whole time. I think that's a cool thing. Like, you go in blind, but then you slowly make formulations about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, it's like, oh, that's really gratifying that I was able to, like, figure this out. I don't know.
Like, so
if that makes any sense.
Was that suggestion, like, in line? I wasn't in line.
The one thing that I wanted to do was not have a game with a squirrel that involved acorns.
Exactly. That's why I was like,
no.
But
I mean, they didn't know that.
I know.
Said that
I know. It's not his fault. I'm just saying, like, that moment kind of set in my mind. I'm like, I don't want to. I feel like I'll just get too mad, which is it's my flaw.
Still upset.
It's my flaw. I would just get upset if someone came up to my game and made a suggestion that doesn't fit with my idea. I would be like,
You want to know what the most upsetting thing about my game?
I'm dumb.
You want to know the most upsetting thing about my game? Is when that guy drooled in front of it.
Oh yeah, tell that story.
Oh yeah, so at this like little, hold on. Okay, everything's good. Okay, so we basically had a little showing of our games at this expo thing at this one center, and we were getting judged. And I entered my game and my school game thing in a judge, and so these two guys come up, and I'm like, oh here, play this game. And I was expecting these two other judges because I was on this own other team that we made for a class, and these two judges, they like understood games, or at least the one did, and he was asking all these really cool questions. But the two guys that I got didn't know jack shit at all. And so I'm like, this is my game. I got done explaining like the best spiel or whatever I did, like best pitch for the game. And then they just kind of stood in front of me, staring. I'm like, say something. Please say something. I'm like, I gave you, you have to ask, like, engage me. Like, I can't just keep talking, you have to actually ask questions. But I'm like, oh, just go play the game. Like, they didn't really say anything, so I was like, oh, just play the game. So one guy's, like, playing, and, like, I show you what to do on the screen. And I had other people play, and I'm like, oh, I do this. It's like, left and right arrow keys are move. It literally says move and left and right arrow keys. And they're like, how do I move? It's like, it's on the screen. Oh. But basically, I'm like, okay, I just go through explaining things. He's not even looking at the screen. He doesn't even know how to do anything. And, like, that's fine. I understand. Whatever. You just hear the judge. But then he gets up. And he's like, I'm done. He's not even out of, like, the tutorial room, which is literally just a room. But he gets up, and this huge glob of, like, spit just falls out of his mouth onto the table right before where my laptop is. And I'm talking to the other guy, and I just noticed this out of the corner of my eye. I'm just trying to keep, like, that just happened. And I was like, I'm suppressing this rage right now. I want this to be over. So they just get up and leave. And the thing that ticks me off the absolute most is this guy who knows what he did, and he just wipes the spit on the table just across, trying to get away. And so they leave. I'm like, oh, okay, what ticked me off the most was he wiped away and didn't say anything. He didn't apologize. If he would have said something, I'd been like, that's disgusting, but thank you for saying I'm sorry. He didn't do any of that. He just got up and left. I was so angry that my game just got drooled on. That's the whole thing. That's what I got out of that. My game just got drooled on, and it just made me upset. I hate it.
That was so unfair too, because everyone had like good judges, and you had that guy.
Yeah, I had this guy that drooled on my game. That's disheartening. But actually, no. What made it good was like, because we had like high school kids come, and like one guy actually sat down and he's like, I see what you're doing and I understand this. I'm like, yes!
He said it like that?
Something like that.
I see what you're doing and I understand it.
Yeah. I'm like, yes! Then I had this other person, like, the foreign students, she came and like sat down, and like she got to the point where you have the squirrel like jump off a high thing, but she missed the jump, so the squirrel like came to the ground and like hit the floor, and then it plays a little like crash animation, and she's like, this is adorable. I'm like, yes!
Did you hug her? Should've hugged her.
No, that probably would have scarred her mentally.
That's true.
But I don't know, my game got drooled on, and it also got understood. But I should just put out the build. It's like, I need to go home and do that. I need to make a build, I need to put it like on Twitter and say, hey, here's the demo. I paused working on it because I'm doing something else. But here. Here's an idea.
Hey, here.
I need to do that.
Why would you do that though? I'm trying to finish it.
Demo. You build hype. Demoing it. It's like, hey, here's this idea. I'm currently paused on it because I'm burnt. I should tweet that. Gosh dang. I'll do that later.
Here's what you gotta do. That's why I stopped tweeting for like a month or two. I just picked it up like yesterday.
Yeah.
Leave constantly open a tab with a Twitter there, and you'll always be reminded.
I should do
Be
that.
the farthest most tab, you always see it. Put a shortcut to Twitter on your desktop, whatever. Always have something. They tell you just tweet today, whatever. Just tweet something.
Yeah.
Go online and reply to someone.
I should just say like, hey, I made this thing.
You have so much art that you do, just tweet something out.
Art. Doodles.
Just doodles, whatever.
Coding.
People tweet doodles all the time.
Alright, that's true.
Da Vinci did that. You should do it too.
That's true, Da Vinci, yeah, because when he was on Twitter. Dude, he was cool for when he was around the 1400s. Whatever that was. I mean, I should tweet at Da Vinci. Dude, who do you think owns the Da Vinci handle for Twitter?
I don't think...
Also, actually, my one question was, like, where would I put, like, the downloadable thing?
Dropbox? You could do, like, a link to the Dropbox. You download it there.
Oh, yeah. Well,
People do that a lot for demos.
Yeah, I should just do that. Yeah, yeah, sure.
I'll retweet it. Don't you worry.
Okay. I'll make this little demo.
I'm literally... You have 2 followers. So.
I'm literally just going to say, hey, I made this thing. I've stopped working on it. It's a little demo. I'll get back to it later, but here, I made this. And, like, yeah, that'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait for people to steal it.
Steal what?
No, what's going to happen is, so, like, 10 people are going to see it. It's like, hey, you keep working on this. And I'm like, I should keep working on it. Jeez, let's work on it simultaneously.
Yes. Man,
not get anything done.
I hear a lot of people say on the game dev Reddit, so many people, like, it's such a common topic, like, why I can't seem to finish a game.
And like me.
Yeah, you do that too. I don't know. It's interesting to me.
I think the bad thing is I know my problems. I just don't fix them.
What's your problems?
I start something, I get tired, then I start something else. I just don't go back and finish things. Because they just get burnt out. Well, I feel like if that does happen, say I put the thing out, and basically it gets popular, or like, I don't know, people encourage me to finish it, I'll be like, I actually, no, I would probably say I'm tired of pixel art. I'll even like put this, like, as I tweet out, I'm tired of pixel art, I'm taking a break for this, I will get back to this, like, will capitalize, I will get back to that, but for right now I'm doing something else. Because, like, I'm tired.
That's why I wanted you to program this new game. Like, start to program it, just because I don't want you to get burnt out in drawing, either. You gotta do
I was getting burnt out on concepting, but now I'm, like, sketching things in, I'm like, yes, animation.
Oh, yeah, you're animating, so.
Yeah, which I'd like to do.
I'm burnt out on modeling right now. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
For the past, like, week, I just haven't wanted to, and it's bad, but whatever. I'll want to do it in the future. It's just right now. I want to program, like, only. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I was explaining this, like, you get burnt out on... I've already said this before. You get burned out on modeling, so you just go programming. You get burned out on programming, just go back to modeling. It just makes this.
I wish I could just half and half time. I can love both, but sometimes it works out that way. But like right now, it's not. I want to work on my game. That's all I want to do. I'm so hyped with it. I have to model. I need to be good.
I need to go back and listen to both of these podcasts because that's a motivator right there. Like literally, it seems like so self-oriented or whatever, but listening to these podcasts are actually like, yes, confidence.
Why does it motivate you?
I don't know, I just hear myself talk about the things that I like.
That's
and true. like, oh yeah, I actually think that I should be doing this now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I guess, for me, like, I am still modeling because I'm sculpting for work.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess that's why I'm burnt out, because I've been doing that 3 hours a day. But I've only started like 2 days ago.
I thought you said you were kind of getting excited because you were like figuring out the program.
Oh yeah, I like sculpting. I don't want to model. I don't want to polysoup. Like, actually move verts around. Like it's not that. It's just the normal map baking process is so irritating. I don't want texture. I love texturing, but I don't want texture. It's not modeling. I don't want texture for some reason. Sitting down and actually coloring stuff, I hate right now. I don't want to do it because it's such a long process to make something look good. Whatever, I gotta do that tonight.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll do it tonight.
Yeah, you just have to power
No programming, I'll do that.
You just have to power through it.
I have a little knife I'm making, and that's all I have to do is texture it, and I'm not doing it.
No, I was about to say, like, because stuff in Game Maker, like, I was trying to figure out, like, the correct size to put everything in. And, like, just going, like, this isn't the right size, this is too big, this is too small. Like, doing that over and over and over again to try and find, like, the right size. That's irritating to me, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But, like, I think I found, like, a happy medium. I think I'm going to have to readjust some things. Or I know what I'm doing right now is, like, the images are 512 by 512, but everything is zoomed back out, so it looks smaller, so it's more like 256, because it's 2 times as small. Like, I think that'll work.
For
like,
what,
I did this yesterday. I drew something and I put it in the center, just like mock up, basically. I put one of the boss guys in the center, and like, okay, this looks alright. So I'm like, see what happens.
Oh, okay. I thought you were a scroll game, and I was like, wait.
No. Well, I know the one folly that I did with Score Game, which was make a character who's, what was it? Basically for platformers, your guy is supposed to be a block, like 16 by 16, the guy's supposed to be in the 16 by 16. The squirrel is 18 by 18. Well, actually he's like 18 by 9, 18 by like 6 or something. But the world is 20 by 20, so like it doesn't line up exactly. But, I mean, it works out. Like, originally it was 18 by, like, he was 18 by 18, but the blocks were 16 by 16, so you could literally just, like, hover on top of a gap. But, hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I guess for me, like, yours is more like the tedious stuff that you don't want to do.
Everything's tedious.
Like, yeah, pixel art is really tedious. But, like, me, I'm still learning how to, like, use some of the programs. Like, I already know how to, I know how to.
That's equally tedious.
I know how to
just
use.
learning.
I know how to use them, but like the first time I used it, it didn't work correctly. So I'm like, maybe I missed something. So I gotta watch tutorials on certain things. Like the baking process is still confusing me on certain parts. It's just not working correctly every time I do it. Like that's tonight I have to watch tutorials, and I just hate watching them because I do it all week for work. That's all they like say. Watch this tutorial because you need to learn how to use this program that I've never used before. So I'm like, okay. Like I hate watching them. It's so irritating because I just want to do it. I just want to do. But in some moments, believe me, I believe in just working out things yourself. But certain things, like, you really just gotta watch tutorials, and it just blows.
And you just like, yeah, you're just sitting there like, just please get to the part that I need. Oh, that's why I like. Jeez, this is why I'm like, I always advocate just using Flash and stuff because it's what I know, so I'm just gonna be more comfortable in it.
Yeah.
But I know there's way other better programs for stuff that I'm doing.
But it's just annoying to have to like, wow, to do that program, I have to do like several hours of just tutorials.
Yeah, and then you finally get past all that, and like now I have to get used to it.
Yeah,
and that's like, so like I just want to be with what I have.
Yeah, I guess the normal map baking is like, it's just hit or miss. You bake it, it takes like 10 minutes to render on my computer, and it doesn't work.
So it's literally like,
I gotta change like one value, like let's see what this does. And
do it again.
And then after like 20 tries, it still doesn't look good. I'm like, am I even doing this right?
Yeah.
And I go back, like, I missed something, and then I have to do it again. I still haven't mastered it. Once I mastered that, literally, I'm like,
good to go.
I could just make anything. Not make anything, like, I still have to get good at it, but I don't need to look at tutorials anymore.
Yeah.
That's just a dream come true when that happens.
You basically get to a point where, like, I'm competent and I can kind of figure this out for myself.
Yes.
You have to look up some things here and there.
I just won it. I won it. And I'm Austin.
No, I'm Alex. Yeah, don't get into indie games. Bye, everybody!
No. Don't say that.
Makes my job easier.
That's true.
Okay, bye.
Don't get into it.